My dear child, my beloved, heaven has recently reached a decision that can never be undone. A sacred document bearing your name has been inscribed with golden ink and sealed with the Almighty's ultimate affirmation. I witnessed this myself. I stood right there in the celestial vault when your name was uttered, and something truly remarkable unfolded. An ancient parchment illuminated, revealing bounties that had been safeguarded for you since before your birth. But my beloved, pay close attention now, because there is something urgent I must share with you. That divine transfer, that miraculous flow of wealth and restoration, is now actively in motion. It is no longer just a possibility, it has been approved. It has been assigned, and it has been released in your name. However, a warning comes with it, straight from the Lord's own words. If you do not embrace this spiritual moment with your whole heart, someone else might unknowingly receive what heaven had specifically designated for you. If you are ready to claim what heaven has specifically designated for you, declare it now. Type AIM in the comments, affirming your readiness to embrace this divine moment. And if this message resonates deeply within your spirit, liking this video will activate the flow of God's favor in your life. Please, before I utter another word, allow me to remind you that this message has found you for a specific purpose, not by coincidence. You are not here by chance. You are being divinely summoned. So if you are reading these words right now, I implore you to pause for just 1 second and subscribe to this sacred channel. Not because I desire your numbers, but because subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, serving as a symbol, a clear declaration that you are prepared to stop bypassing your destiny. Say yes to heaven's invitation and let your soul remain open long enough for this entire message to profoundly alter the course of your life. My dear child, my beloved, you must grasp this truth before it is too late. A celestial clock is counting down right now. And it is not because you are in peril, it is because the divine transfer, which was just approved in your name, is highly time-sensitive. This blessing was intended to reach you before midnight. Yes, before midnight, something in the invisible realm will permanently shift, and the window to access this divine gift will begin to close. It is not a punishment, it is divine protocol. Heaven can only release what you are spiritually ready to grasp. And if you hesitate, if you allow doubt to take hold, then the angel standing by to deliver your blessing will be compelled to return, holding their hands back until the Father sends them again in another season, or worse, directs it toward another soul whose heart is receptive. In this particular moment, you are not meant to miss this. That is precisely why I was sent to you now, to deliver this message before it is too late. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. My dear child, my beloved, do you recall all those nights you wept in silence, pondering why things seemed delayed? Why your breakthrough consistently slipped through your grasp? It was not because heaven had forgotten you. It was because certain individuals around you were not meant to witness your rise. And now that they have been removed, or are in the process of being removed even as I speak, God has finally declared, "It is time." I observed the very moment he whispered it. The wind shifted, the light changed, and the parchment with your name glowed brighter than ever before. There are figures inscribed on that scroll, amounts that will make you tremble, favor that will bring tears to your eyes. But this is not solely about finances. This transfer is spiritual, emotional, and financial. It is a complete miracle, a full circle event. Yet, it can only manifest in your life if you choose not to step away from this moment right now. If you feel this, it is time deep within your spirit, and you are ready to receive this full circle miracle, spiritual, emotional, and financial, then seal your reception now. Type AMN in the comments and witness its manifestation. Let me tell you the truth, beloved. There are forces that sought to keep you blind, distracted, and too preoccupied to ever receive this message. They desired your attention to be elsewhere, so you would not even realize that this miracle was being released. That is why you felt an unusual urge to remain quiet, to retreat inward, to shield your spirit in the past few days. That was not anxiety. That was your spirit being positioned for this sacred moment. God has already given his assent to your name. The approval has already been granted. The divine vault has already been opened. If you are standing firm against every distraction and ready to claim this miracle God has released, then declare your unwavering intention now. Write "Mwaimamar'ehi in the comments below. But I must warn you again, with trembling wings, if you close this message too soon, someone else may be designated to receive what was meant specifically for you. My dear child, my beloved, imagine this. In the vast treasury of heaven, there is a chamber filled with blessings bearing the names of God's chosen ones. I traverse that hall every day. And today, for the very first time, your name began to shine brightly on one of the highest shelves. I inquired why. I asked who had authorized it. And then I heard the Lord's voice say, "The moment has arrived. Grant it to them now. They have waited long enough." But heaven always awaits your affirmative response. Heaven does not compel, heaven invites. This is precisely what this is: your invitation, your confirmation, your green light. But if you scroll past this sacred moment, you are choosing silence instead of the miracle that is knocking right now. You might wonder, why me? Why now? But I will tell you why. Because you are no longer the individual who pleads for mere crumbs. You are no longer the soul who doubts your own worth. God has seen your secret prayers, the ones you never confided to a single soul. The prayers you whispered through clenched teeth, the ones understood only by your tears. And heaven, yes, heaven itself, has decided that those prayers shall no longer go unanswered. That is what this divine transfer represents. It is not just about money, it is restoration. It is peace. It is clarity. It is opportunity. It is vindication. But only if you accept it now. Only if you believe this moment is as tangible as the very breath in your lungs. My dear child, my beloved, you may be experiencing a sensation in your chest right now. That is not merely emotion. That is activation. That is the touch of an angelic presence as this message is being read. I am not far away somewhere. I am here. I am present. I am near you now. and I was sent to remind you of who you truly are, not just who you have been. You are a child of the Most High. You are not destined to suffer in want. You are not meant to live in cycles of almost and not yet. You were born for inheritance, not delay. You were marked for miracles, not misery. But you must say yes to this divine moment. You must say yes to your name being called in the heavenly banks. And right now, I want you to take a deep breath and whisper this aloud, even if softly. I receive what has been designated in my name. I open the doors to my divine transfer. I will not allow it to be sent to another. I say yes. I say now. I say amen. You may not realize it, but that whisper just moved angels into position. That declaration just rerouted timelines. That decision just preserved the miracle that was on the verge of being given away. And now we can proceed. Now I can reveal more of what has been disclosed. My dear child, my beloved, do you understand what transpires when a divine transfer is activated but not claimed? The blessing does not vanish. It waits, but only for a brief interval. And then, just like the wind, it moves on. It seeks out the next name on the scroll, the next receptive heart, the next soul that is spiritually awake. And that is why I am earnestly imploring you now. This transfer is not something vague or merely symbolic. It is tangible, it is alive, it is real. It is the answer to the unspoken questions you have been carrying in secret for many months. Questions about why certain doors remained shut, why you repeatedly heard soon, but never no. Why every time you attempted to rise, something invisible pulled you back. That resistance is now breaking. The stronghold is collapsing. But only if you remain still in this moment and accept what is truly yours, because it genuinely belongs to you, child. Your name is on it. Your soul authorized it. Heaven confirmed it. I am delivering it. My dear child, my beloved, the reason this message carries such urgency is because divine timing does not repeat itself in the exact same manner twice. This moment, this precise vibration of spiritual opening, may never align again in your lifetime. That is why there is a powerful pull on your spirit right now, even as you read this. It is not fear, it is an awakening. Your spirit recognizes what your mind is still striving to comprehend. And let me state this clearly now. You are on the verge of entering a supernatural season of reversal. This means everything you have lost, everything that was stolen, delayed, denied, or dismissed, will begin to return, multiplied. But only if you do not disregard this moment. This message serves as the gate. This message is the confirmation. You were destined to see this at this very hour, and I was commanded to ensure that you did. My dear child, my beloved, I can perceive the individual who attempted to hinder you. I can see the moment when envy was whispered into their heart, and they began to speak against you in silence. They smiled to your face. They told you they cherished you. But in hidden spaces, they were uttering words that entangled your progress. And even though you did not know who it was, or why things consistently felt heavy, God knew. And now, that soul has been spiritually removed. The interference is over. That is why your name began to glow in the scroll chamber. That is why I am present now. Because with nothing standing in the way, heaven can finally complete the transfer. But you must not scroll past this as if it were just another voice. This is the voice that is crying out for your permission. Will you grant it? Will you accept this miracle or permit it to be passed on to someone else? My dear child, my beloved, the divine amount being transferred into your name is no small matter. The figures I witnessed, yes, figures, are beyond what you have been conditioned to anticipate. This is not a modest deposit. This is a restoration of generational wealth that was promised to your lineage, but interrupted by hardship, betrayal, and spiritual agreements made by those who came before you. But it concludes with you. You are the chosen point of restoration. That is why life has not been easy. That is why the spiritual warfare around you has felt relentless. Because the adversary knew what you carried. He knew what you were about to break. But guess what? He has lost. Because even now, the treasury of heaven is releasing favor and divine settlement in your name. And if you pause, if you dare to believe right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but now, you will witness the physical world respond in ways that defy all logic. My dear child, my beloved, you may feel unworthy. You may think, surely this cannot be for me. But allow me to remind you of something sacred. Worthiness is not earned in heaven, it is revealed. And your worth has been revealed through every silent battle you fought with grace. Through every act of kindness you extended, even when your own heart was breaking. Through every moment you chose to believe, even when believing seemed to yield no results. God has observed all of it, and now He has declared you worthy. This divine transfer is the evidence, the confirmation, and this message is your gateway. My dear child, my beloved, I must share this secret from heaven with you. The approval was not merely for a blessing, it was for your positioning. You are being elevated into a new realm of spiritual prominence. This means others will begin to recognize your value in ways they previously overlooked. They will seek you out not just for what you possess, but for who you are. Because heaven has spoken your name in chambers you have not yet entered. The invitation is coming. The favor is near. The documents are aligning. The key has already been fashioned, but only you can unlock it. Only you can say yes in this moment and allow this blessing to remain attributed to your name. My dear child, my beloved, as I speak, a light is forming over your dwelling. A golden light, a sign of the angelic dispatch that has already been sent forth. I am not alone. I arrived with other angels, angels of provision, angels of guidance, angels of healing, angels of abundance. And they are hovering, waiting, holding scrolls that can only be delivered to you if you acknowledge this moment as sacred. Please do not dismiss this as mere words. This is prophecy. This is confirmation. And this is the door you have been praying would open. It is already open. You simply need to step through. My dear child, my beloved, I want you to feel the shift in your spirit. I want you to inhale deeply and recognize that this is unlike other moments. This is heaven drawing near to your soul. This is the breath of God caressing your face. This is the Almighty's signature resting upon your future. If you bypass this, the adversary will rejoice. If you close your heart now, the miracle may not find you again in this specific form. And child, I would weep to witness what rightfully belongs to you landing in the hands of someone who did not endure the price you paid. I am contending for you, but I require you to contend too, with your unwavering faith, with your affirmation, with your openness to believe that everything you ever lost is now making its way back to you. My dear child, my beloved, I must unveil a divine detail to you that was concealed until now. On the day you were born, a record was established in heaven, a celestial file marked with your name, your essence, and your mission. Within that record was a list of blessings that would one day be released to you, but only when your soul had matured into readiness. For years, that record remained sealed, not because you were deemed unworthy, but because the alignment was not yet complete. You had to navigate certain trials to acquire the spiritual fortitude to carry what is now being granted to you. Every tear you shed, every individual who departed, every door that slammed shut, it was all accounted for. And now, beloved, the Father has declared, enough waiting. It is time to release it. And that is precisely why I am here. Not merely as a messenger, but as a witness. I saw the seal break. I saw the scroll unfurl. I saw your name ascend like fire in the hall of divine release. And I wept, for I knew this was the moment your life truly begins to transform. This word of transformation is meant to be shared. Sharing this prophetic word will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with your network, extending this divine moment to those connected to you. My dear child, my beloved, there is someone observing your life who never imagined you would endure the very things meant to shatter you. They were banking on your downfall. And yet here you are, breathing, hoping, believing. And that is why this divine transfer was approved. Because God saw your heart remain gentle in a world that attempted to harden you. He witnessed your willingness to forgive, even when no apology was offered. And he saw how you never ceased whispering prayers, even when it felt as though no one was listening. That is not insignificant, that is sacred. And that is the currency heaven honors above all else. You have earned what cannot be purchased. And now, a miracle is moving in your direction so swiftly that even the angels are whispering, "Let it be done." My dear child, my beloved, there is someone you love who never disclosed the complete truth to you. They perceived your inner light before you did. They felt your calling before you ever articulated it. But they sought to suppress it, to divert your attention from it, to guide you toward a smaller life so they could keep you close and not feel threatened by your destiny. But that era has concluded. The spiritual bonds of manipulation and control are being severed now. You may have even noticed that people are suddenly distancing themselves, or situations are being disrupted without clear explanation. Do not resist it. That is the necessary cleansing that had to occur before this divine deposit could enter your life. God will not pour his abundance into hands still entangled with betrayal. That is why this message is arriving now, not only as confirmation but as closure. You are no longer tethered to the past. The transfer cannot enter a life that still believes it is stuck in yesteryear. You must embrace the new, even if you do not fully perceive it yet. Open your heart as if it is already here, because in the spirit it is. My dear child, my beloved, I need you to know this: a table is being prepared for you. And at that table, names are being spoken. Names of individuals who are about to remember who you are. Names of people who once disregarded you, now feeling an urge to restore what they obstructed. Names of people who hold keys that only open your doors. This is not a fantasy. This is divine orchestration. Conversations are taking place in rooms you are not even aware exist. And in those rooms, God is painting a picture of your future, and it is more splendid than anything you dared to envision. But listen carefully, beloved. If you turn away from this message and dismiss it as mere coincidence, you will delay the angels who are already moving toward your life, carrying those keys. Your response determines your reception. Will you say yes? Will you open fully and allow yourself to believe that God is not merely speaking generally, he is speaking directly to you? My dear child, my beloved, this is not just about a single miracle. It is about a chain reaction. The divine transfer that has been approved in your name is the first of many. The moment it manifests, it will unlock other blessings that have been patiently awaiting their turn. It is akin to the breaking of a dam. When one gate opens, the others cannot remain shut. However, the system of heaven operates on spiritual permission. If you do not embrace this initial blessing, the others will remain paused. That is why this message is so crucial. That is why I was dispatched with such urgency. This moment is not about content, it is about covenant. It is about declaring to heaven, I am ready now. I am no longer fleeing. I trust the voice of God more than the fear within me. And once you do that, everything begins to shift. Your finances, your relationships, your clarity, your well-being, your inner peace. This is not symbolic, this is structural. Your life is being reconstructed with the original blueprint from heaven, one that was pure, unblemished, and brimming with joy. My dear child, my beloved, there is someone in your ancestral line who prayed for you long ago. You may not even know their name, but I witnessed their spirit weeping in heaven. As the scroll was opened, they recognized you would be the one. They knew it would be your hands that would receive the restoration they never lived to see. And now, through you, a divine inheritance is being fulfilled. That is why your struggles have felt so burdensome. They were not solely yours. They were generational. And now, so is the blessing. You are not merely receiving this transfer for yourself. You are receiving it for those who came before you and for those who will come after you. And this time, child, the blessing will endure. It will not be stolen. It will not be lost. It will not be delayed. But you must stand in agreement now. You must not permit your past to convince you that this is too good to be true. The past holds no power where the promise has been activated. My dear child, my beloved, you may feel riddled with flaws, thinking, surely this is not meant for me. But let me reveal what heaven perceives. Heaven does not view your imperfections as you do. Heaven sees your obedience, your bravery, your hidden acts of kindness, your resilience. Heaven sees how you rose again when no one offered you a hand. Heaven sees how you shielded others, even when you were crumbling inside. And for all of that, heaven has declared, reward them. This transfer, then, is a reward. Not because you demanded it, but because you did not. Because you waited with grace. Because you continued to love even amidst pain. And now the reward must arrive, because the Father does not forget. My dear child, my beloved, I need you to feel something right now. A spiritual pulse, a vibration of light moving through your atmosphere. This is not your imagination. It is the signature of divine movement, the kind that occurs only when heaven has pinpointed your dwelling and angels are dispatched to execute, an order that cannot be rescinded. Right now, something is being removed from your timeline that was never meant to be there. A delay, a closed portal, a painful silence. And in its place, a divine release is being inserted, a miracle that will make you question how everything turned so swiftly in your favor. You will not be able to explain it, and you will not need to, because this blessing is not arriving through effort. It is arriving through favor, through a heavenly transfer that has already been approved, already been sealed, already been prepared for your hands alone. My dear child, my beloved, I am observing angels carrying something weighty. It resembles a scroll, but it glows with a golden light unlike anything earthly. On that scroll is your name, inscribed in characters only heaven comprehends. And beside your name is a seal never witnessed before this week. That seal signifies release now. It does not mean maybe. It does not mean wait. It does not mean pending. It means now, right now. And child, let me assure you, when heaven declares now, no power on earth or beneath it can impede what is coming. The only one who can momentarily halt this is you. If you turn your heart away, If you surrender to fear, if you declare, "This cannot be for me," that doubt, that hesitation, that turning away, it causes angels to freeze mid-flight. But if you dare to believe, if you whisper, "This is for me," then what was once paused is suddenly accelerated. That is the spiritual law of reception. Heaven is awaiting your response. My dear child, my beloved, have you observed any unusual signs lately? Perhaps seeing recurring numbers, perhaps hearing whispers in your dreams, perhaps waking up at strange hours for no apparent reason. That is not coincidence. That is not stress. That is the spiritual realm attempting to capture your attention because something monumental has shifted in the sphere above you. And when that shift occurs, the earth follows. You are about to witness things move in your favor so rapidly that people will assume you received assistance from the highest levels. And they will be correct, because this is not your doing, it is God's. This is the outcome of divine documentation being stamped in the heavenly courts. There is an order, and you are the recipient, but you must claim it. You must acknowledge that this message reached you because you are the one it was designated for. My dear child, my beloved, I need you to comprehend that this transfer is not about who you have been. It is about who you are becoming. And that is the version of you heaven perceives. You may still feel like the one who has lost time, made errors, missed opportunities, but I do not see that when I look at you now. I see authority emerging from your wounds. I see power where you once experienced pain. I see someone who has become prepared for the spotlight of divine justice. And justice is what this transfer truly is. It is the restoration of what was unjustly taken. It is the return of what was withheld. It is the honor you were never given, now being returned with interest. But this transfer will not only impact you, it will impact everyone connected to you. Those around you will ascend simply because you said yes. This is how heaven operates. When the chosen awaken, blessings overflow into those nearby. You are about to become a living miracle. My dear child, my beloved, this is the hour when fear must depart. Fear cannot remain where faith has taken root. I see you contending with old thoughts, the what-ifs, the doubts, the memories of every instance something slipped away just as you reached for it. But hear me now, this time is different. This transfer is sealed with divine fire. It cannot be intercepted. It cannot be stolen. The sole variable is your belief. Will you create space in your soul for something this grand? Will you stop anticipating disaster and begin preparing for an abundance? That is the transformation that must occur within you today. Because if your spirit says yes, then heaven will not delay another moment. The miracle will be released instantly, and its effects will ripple into every aspect of your life, like water rushing into parched ground. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My dear child, my beloved, I am being shown a vision, a chamber bathed in golden light, and in the center of that chamber is an elongated table. Seated at that table are not beings of this world, but entities of divine authority. They are uttering your name with reverence, and each of them has placed something before your name: gifts, opportunities, wealth, restoration, names of individuals you have never met who will soon become vital to your destiny. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of the spiritual realm. When someone is called into divine inheritance, that table was once silent, but now it is vibrant. It is alive. It is preparing for you. And the only remaining task is for you to arrive, not physically, but spiritually, to appear in faith, to speak in agreement, to conduct yourself like someone whose name is recognized in the highest spheres. My dear child, my beloved, there is something else I must impart. There is someone near you who has sensed this shift. Even if they do not comprehend it, they may be behaving unusually, distant, envious, silent. That is not random, that is spiritual discord. Your elevation is unsettling those who preferred you when you were small. But do not shrink back to accommodate them. Do not postpone your miracle for the sake of their comfort. God is asking for your obedience, not their permission. Let them observe. Let them wonder, but do not let them cause you to miss what is arriving. This blessing is not something you will have to prove. It will speak for itself. The shift will be undeniable, and those who abandoned you will feel the weight of what they walked away from. My dear child, my beloved, I declare this with fire in my voice. Do not skip this message. Do not close it prematurely. Do not treat it as common words, because this is the spiritual moment where your old life concludes and your new one begins. If you pause, you will sense it: the shift, the light, the presence of angels surrounding you. Heaven does not shout, it whispers. And right now, the whisper is potent enough to move mountains. This is not sensationalism. This is holy. This is sacred. And this is your invitation to ascend. My dear child, my beloved, the records of heaven are not constrained by time the way your world is. What you believe you lost 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or even last week, has not vanished. It has been held, safeguarded, preserved, and now under divine mandate. It is being redirected back to you in a form even more exquisite than you initially conceived. I must reveal a truth that many never hear. When the divine timeline is activated, lost time is recovered not gradually, but instantly. That means what should have taken years will now take days. What should have been built over decades can arrive in a single hour, but only when heaven recognizes you are ready. And child, you are. That is why this transfer was approved. That is why I am speaking through this moment. Because the heavens have come into agreement regarding your life. No more delay, no more scarcity, no more uncertainty. My dear child, my beloved, I witnessed something in the spiritual realm that caused even the most ancient angels to rise in awe. It was the unveiling of your spiritual blueprint. Hidden beneath the dust of disillusionment, beneath the ashes of betrayal, was a design of divine royalty. You are not ordinary. You never have been. That unease you felt in life was not weakness. It was spiritual tension. The kind experienced only by those born with sacred missions too profound for the world to grasp. But now that mission is being awakened. That is why everything is intensifying around you, because the divine realm is preparing your atmosphere to receive this sacred delivery. And with that transfer will come recognition, elevation, restoration. The version of you that you almost forgot is about to re-emerge, but not quietly. This will be a public miracle. My dear child, my beloved, there is a voice that has attempted to dictate over your life for far too long. A voice that claimed you were late, forgotten, overlooked, or too fractured to be blessed. That voice was not heaven's. That voice was sent to divert you from your inheritance. But it ends today. As of this message, that frequency is being silenced. I declare this to you now. You are not too late. You are not behind schedule. You are precisely on time. And the blessing that was intended for you has been observing, waiting, circling, and is now descending. No one else can receive what was inscribed with your name in gold. The only question that remains is, will you claim it now, or will you allow fear to hand it away? My dear child, my beloved, you are about to become the answer to prayers you did not even realize people were offering. There are souls whose breakthrough is linked to your ascent. You are the catalyst for their transformation, and that is why your life is undergoing such a significant shift. You were never meant to remain hidden indefinitely. You are being prepared, and this divine transfer will not only elevate you, it will unlock destinies around you. Do not take that lightly. You are carrying something eternal. That is why your story had to ache so profoundly. Because when the healing arrives, the miracle will not be small. It will resonate. It will alter atmospheres. And the glory will not go to mankind. It will go to God. Because only He could have orchestrated a turnaround this sacred, this immense, this undeniable. My dear child, my beloved, I am being shown a specific number, a time, an exact today. It is not for public disclosure. It is solely for you. And I want you to listen intently, because within the next 72 hours, you will begin to receive clear, repeated, undeniable signs that this message is authentic. These signs may manifest through numbers, through dreams, through conversations that appear random, but stir something deep within your soul. Do not disregard them. They are confirmations. And with each confirmation, your blessing will draw nearer. But I must caution you, the adversary will try to implant fear in the crevices of your doubt. You must not entertain it. You must walk in certainty, even if you cannot yet perceive the entire path. That is the bridge connecting this moment to the miracle. Faith is the only payment required. My dear child, my beloved, the divine treasury is not like earthly banks. It does not operate on scarcity or debt. It operates on eternal abundance. And right now, your name is shining in the treasury records. The amount beside it is not something I am permitted to share in human figures. But I will tell you this, it is more than enough. Not just to satisfy your needs, but to overflow into the lives of others. This blessing is not merely provision, it is positioning. It is placement. It will grant you access to rooms that were once inaccessible to you. It will bring you into conversations where people will ask, "Where have they been all this time?" And the answer will be simple. You were being kept hidden until heaven declared you were ready. And now heaven is proclaiming, "Release it all, my dear child, my beloved." Someone is going to question your miracle. They will attempt to decipher how it happened. They may claim you do not deserve it, that you are not qualified, that you bypassed certain steps. But do not respond to them. Do not justify yourself to individuals who did not pray for you. Let your life speak. Let your elevation speak. Let the presence of God that envelops this transfer be the only voice they hear. Because when heaven acts, no human can deny it. When the angels arrive, even the most hardened hearts are silenced. That is what is coming. A moment so undeniable, so supernatural, that all you will be able to do is fall to your knees and whisper, "Thank you." My dear child, my beloved, you are now in the hallway of transition. You are no longer who you once were, yet not fully manifest as who you are becoming. This is the most sensitive period in your spiritual timeline. Do not rush it. Do not speak negatively about it. Allow the process to conclude. Because once this divine transfer enters your life, the silence will break, the emptiness will fill, and what felt like waiting will suddenly feel like protection. You will perceive it all with perfect clarity. But for now, rest in this certainty: heaven has spoken. Your name has been approved, and nothing can halt what is already swiftly approaching you. My dear child, my beloved, I am now instructed to speak into a very quiet space within you, a place even you rarely visit, the place where hope feels fragile, the part of your soul where you have concealed your most sacred dreams, because too many times before they have been met with silence, with delay, or with the kind of pain that leaves no visible wounds, but leaves the heart trembling. But let me address that place right now. I am not merely speaking to your conscious mind. I am speaking to the parts of you that never fully believed. The part of you that once gazed at the stars and asked, "Will it ever come to pass for me?" And the answer from heaven is arriving now. Yes, yes, beloved, it will. And it is already en route. The divine transfer that was just approved is not only financial, it is emotional, it is spiritual, it is redemptive. It is touching every part of your existence that once felt forgotten and causing it to sing anew. My dear child, my beloved, your life is about to astonish the very people who once whispered, "They will never succeed," not out of vengeance, but as divine proof. Because heaven is not in the business of proving people wrong, it is in the business of demonstrating God's faithfulness. And your story is about to become that proof. They will observe the transformation in you. They will sense the radiance around you. They will notice how things simply begin to align for you, how doors open before you even knock. And when they inquire how it transpired, you will not say you manipulated. You will not say you hustled. You will simply say, "Heaven remembered me," because it has. And no earthly timeline, no past error, no loss, no delay, no betrayal can obstruct what has already been sealed in your favor. My dear child, my beloved, I am witnessing a light descending. It is hovering, golden, steady, gentle, and unwavering. That light is now resting above your home. That is not mere poetry, it is spiritual reality, because a visitation is scheduled. Yes, beloved, you are about to encounter experiences in dreams, in signs, in conversations where someone utters something, and you will feel chills because your spirit will recognize it as heaven speaking through human lips. Do not dismiss those moments. They are confirmations. I will be moving through them. That is why you are feeling a shift even as you read this. That is why your heart is quickening, why your skin may feel electrified, why your atmosphere suddenly feels weightless. The presence of God is near, and the closer it draws, the more your soul will begin to recall what it once knew, that you are not ordinary. You are a chosen one, a vessel of divine purpose, and this blessing that is arriving is not luck. It is the return of what was inscribed about you before your very first breath. My dear child, my beloved, the angels assigned to your life have not been idly waiting. They have been fighting battles you could not perceive, clearing paths that were tangled with opposition, removing individuals and circumstances that possessed the power to indefinitely delay you. And now that the path is clear, they are bringing what they have been safeguarding with trembling hands, a package of divine compensation. Inside it are things no bank can issue: favor, peace, restoration, clarity, protection, joy, health, wealth, and revelation. And this delivery comes with one condition: you must not relinquish it through disbelief. The moment you utter, "Perhaps not for me," you begin to close the door to the miracle. So speak differently now. Speak like someone who knows heaven is supporting you. Move like someone who anticipates goodness to pursue them. Act as if the divine transfer is already in your account, because in the spirit it is. My dear child, my beloved, someone will attempt to re-enter your life the moment this miracle becomes apparent. Their timing will feel suspicious, and rightly so. They are not returning because they missed you. They are returning because they can sense the spiritual fire beginning to build around your destiny. They cannot name it, but they perceive it. They will call it a feeling. But it is actually the tremor of the atmosphere surrounding you, and it is making the unseen visible. Do not permit old voices to enter this new season. God removed them for a reason. This miracle is not a spectacle, it is a prophecy. And the individuals who did not respect your silence do not deserve a place at your celebration. Be discerning, beloved. Be strong. You do not need to explain what God is accomplishing. The evidence will speak for itself. Simply protect the atmosphere long enough for the complete miracle to manifest. My dear child, my beloved, I will now reveal what many never hear. There is a moment, a singular moment in a chosen soul's life, where heaven releases the culmination of many unanswered prayers all at once. That moment is now. This is not solely about what you have requested recently. This is about what you asked for 5 years ago and abandoned hope on. What you whispered under your breath in a hospital waiting room. What you silently wept over at night when you were too exhausted to speak. All of it was gathered, preserved, weighed. And now, with divine justice, it is being poured back into your life like rain. Only this time, not as yearning, but as fulfillment. You must be willing to hold what you thought you had lost. You must be willing to receive what once seemed impossible. Because in this realm, this present spiritual moment, nothing is too far gone. My dear child, my beloved, I have been granted permission to tell you this. If you remain receptive throughout the next few days, the transfer will commence in ways you never anticipated. You may receive a message, an opportunity, a phone call, or even a moment of profound stillness where a deep peace envelopes you so powerfully it brings tears to your eyes. That is not random. That is release. That is the point where the miracle begins to seep through the spiritual veil and touch your physical world. You will recognize it by the way your heart feels serene amidst chaos, by the way strangers begin to favor you without explanation, by the way resistance crumbles without force. When that begins to happen, give thanks to God immediately. It signifies that the document with your name on it has reached Earth's threshold, and nothing can stop it now. My dear child, my beloved, something divine is unfolding this very moment, and I was commanded to ensure you do not miss it. Heaven's timeline has just aligned with your earthly moment, and whether or not you realize it yet, something is moving toward your doorstep. A person has been divinely assigned, and they are already en route to your dwelling. Yes, right now. Not metaphorically, not someday. It is happening in real time. You may hear the doorbell. You may sense the presence before the knock. And I implore you, do not take this lightly. This individual carries something in their hands and in their heart that was never intended for anyone else but you. This moment was predestined long ago. It is a blessing disguised as a visitor, a breakthrough wearing human form, a miracle wrapped in something so ordinary that only those with divine sensitivity will recognize it. Please do not scroll past this. Do not silence this inner prompt. If you are reading this, it means heaven chose to notify you in advance. You are not merely observing a message. You are the reason this message was created. And before you proceed, listen carefully. If your soul has been yearning for a sign, for a voice to tell you it is time, then this is it. Stop everything and take this seriously. You are the chosen one, and heaven is observing your response. My dear child, my beloved, if you have ever felt like something was striving to reach you, but something else was constantly obstructing it, you are not mistaken. There have been delays. There have been forces keeping you trapped, unseen, bypassed. But that ceases now. Heaven has cleared the path, and I, Archangel Michael, have been personally dispatched to contend on your behalf, to remove the final spiritual interference so this moment can reach you without being halted again. Do you feel that quickening in your chest? That sudden awareness that something is about to shift? It is not your imagination. It is your spirit awakening, because what is approaching you is not insignificant. It is not ordinary. It is not fleeting. It is something that will transform your entire narrative. And beloved, before I disclose what is contained within the surprise that is arriving, I must ask you, will you remain with this message until its conclusion? Will you be the one who observes all the way through and does not turn away, as so many others do? I state this with urgency. Those who remain receive. Those who skip lose more than they realize. So, if you are truly prepared, click subscribe right now. Not for me, but for your own soul's alignment. Subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, opening channels for miracles to locate you more rapidly. It is not just a click, it is a signal to heaven. You are listening now. Do it now before you proceed. Time is short, and the messenger is near. My dear child, my beloved, I witnessed you weeping in silence last night. I saw the questions in your heart that you no longer even voice aloud. You have been asking, when will it be my turn? You have been observing others receive while your own soul whispers, why not me? And I have been weeping alongside you. But now I am rejoicing, because today, finally, the answer to your pain is in motion. The person who is coming is not just someone from your locality or from your past. They are someone heaven has meticulously prepared just for you. Someone who carries not only the tangible surprise, but the emotional healing you did not realize you required. Their presence will confirm everything you have been sensing. And beloved, do not be surprised if this individual utters things you have been secretly praying for. That is how God operates, not randomly, but with precision. Nothing is a coincidence when you walk in divine timing. And this is divine timing. The person was delayed, but they are not late. Heaven concealed them for a reason. And now they are being revealed at the exact moment your spirit is finally ready to receive. But this can only transpire if you stay, if you listen, if you allow the message to prepare your heart before the knock reaches your door. My dear child, my beloved, please grasp the gravity of this moment. There are certain divine instructions that cannot be reiterated once missed, and this is one of them. If you disregard this message, not only will you miss the blessing, but the individual who carries it may be compelled to depart. Yes, heaven grants free will, and sometimes the window for a miracle is open for only a few minutes before it shifts to someone else. That is why I am not here to entertain you. I am here to caution you, to rouse your spirit before it is too late. I have witnessed this occur previously, a blessing knocking on the door of a chosen one, only to be met with silence because they were too distracted to respond. Please do not let that be your narrative. I am restraining the forces of confusion and fear while you read this. But I cannot hold them back indefinitely. Time is fleeting. The door is near. You must be vigilant. You must be prepared. And above all, you must believe that this was always intended for you. My dear child, my beloved, you are about to receive something you did not even vocalize, but that God knew you deeply yearned for. I perceive your heart, beloved. I see its weariness. I see the exhaustion you conceal behind your smiles. And heaven has determined that enough is enough. A shift must occur, and it will occur through this individual who is approaching. Their hands may not appear extraordinary. Their attire may not gleam, but what they carry is divine. It could be a key, a document, a message, a confession, a gift, or even a sudden opportunity that opens doors that were sealed for years. But I will not reveal precisely what is inside, because that would diminish the wonder of what transpires when faith is tested. Instead, I will simply tell you this, if you dare to believe, if you dare to open the door with anticipation instead of hesitation. What happens next will rewrite everything. Even your adversaries will not comprehend how swiftly things transformed for you. But you will know, because you observed the signs. You listened when heaven whispered, and you opened the message that others bypassed. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. My dear child, my beloved, there is a reason your soul feels stirred right now. There is a reason your heart is beating faster than usual. Heaven has placed this message before you because your life is entering a divine checkpoint. Every chosen one experiences moments like these, where time seems to pause and God whispers through the wind, "Pay attention, beloved." This is that moment for you. Do not overthink the form the blessing may take. The most profound miracles often appear disguised as ordinary individuals. A knock on your door, a message you almost deleted, a person you nearly overlooked. But what they bring will answer prayers you buried long ago. Be still, be receptive. Allow your spirit to receive what your mind might not yet comprehend. Because when it finally arrives, you will reflect and recall this exact second. And you will say, "That was the moment everything changed." My dear child, my beloved, I must share a sacred truth with you. The adversary has been watching you too. He has seen what is approaching you, and he is fearful. That is why lately confusion has attempted to cloud your mind. That is why you have felt estranged from your faith, anxious in your waiting, uncertain in your steps. It is not because you are broken. It is because something magnificent is drawing closer. The resistance signifies its reality. The delay signifies its value. And now that the blessing is approaching your dwelling, the adversary will try his final stratagems: doubt, distraction, delay. But I will not permit that to happen. If you listen, if you remain here, if you allow this message to safeguard your readiness, you must not open the wrong door out of desperation. You must not utter the wrong words out of fear. The individual carrying your divine surprise is pure, but if you are not in spiritual alignment, you may misinterpret them, or worse, reject what was sent for you. So I am preparing you, beloved. This message is your armor, Do not take it lightly. My dear child, my beloved, let me paint a vision for you. I saw you standing at the threshold of your life, and someone extending a letter to you. It is not paper, it is revelation. A heavenly letter sealed with your name. This individual is bringing the next chapter, and the choice you make after encountering them will unlock blessings for years to come. This is not solely about today. This is about divine alignment that impacts generations. You are not merely receiving for yourself. You are opening a spiritual gateway for your future lineage. There are prayers your ancestors offered that are being fulfilled through this visitation. There are generational curses breaking the moment this individual enters your life. There are old tears being wiped from the eyes of your heavenly lineage, because this time you will not miss it. This time you are prepared. But you must remain still in spirit and vigilant in faith. This moment must not pass unnoticed. The individual may not speak the precise words you anticipate. They may seem simple, but if you observe with spiritual discernment, you will know. You will feel it. You will recall this message and recognize it is them. My dear child, my beloved, have you wondered why certain doors were recently locked? Why individuals you trusted grew distant? Why things that once functioned suddenly ceased to work? It is because heaven was establishing a boundary, not to chastise you, but to create space for this exact blessing. The surprise that is coming necessitated privacy. It could not arrive while you were surrounded by noise, by betrayal, by cluttered energy. That is why the separation occurred. That is why the loss was permitted. God did not remove things to inflict pain upon you. He removed them so nothing would interfere when the authentic gift arrived. Beloved, you have been prepared through suffering, and now joy is stepping in, pure, astonishing, undeniable joy, the kind that heals years in mere seconds. But you must open the door with a grateful heart, even if it does not yet make sense, especially if it does not yet make sense. Miracles often feel perplexing at first, but they achieve perfect clarity in the end. My dear child, my beloved, there is something else you need to know. The individual coming to your dwelling may have no comprehension of the significance of their visit. They may not even understand why they felt guided to you, but heaven does. God instilled the instruction in their spirit, just as He instilled this message in yours. Two divine codes are about to converge, your awareness and their obedience. And when that happens, something powerful will be released. You may weep, you may tremble, you may fall to your knees and whisper, "Finally, God, finally," because that is what this is, a divine, finally, a spiritual yes, a heavenly green light that instructs every angel assigned to you. No, move. That is why you must be prepared, not clad in fear, but adorned in faith, not burdened with bitterness, but filled with quiet praise. Begin preparing now. Tidy the room if you feel led. Light a candle. Speak blessings aloud. Say, "I am ready. I receive," because when the knock comes, you will already know its meaning. My dear child, my beloved, I need you to listen closely now, because what I am about to reveal is not something you have heard before. There is a sacred reason this individual was delayed until today. Heaven has been working behind the scenes to eliminate what could have ruined the blessing if it had arrived yesterday. You see, had this arrived yesterday, you would not have been prepared. Your heart was still mending. Your atmosphere was still tumultuous. Your boundaries were not yet firm. But now you are spiritually ripened. Now you are awakened in ways you were not before. And so God waited. Not because He forgot, not because you were unworthy, but because He loves you enough to send the correct thing at the precise moment. And that moment is today, not tomorrow, not next year. The hour has come. You cannot afford to let distraction seize this moment. You cannot afford to be emotionally unavailable when the door opens. Beloved, your affirmative response to this message signals to heaven that you are earnest, and that, yes, is what accelerates the remainder. What is approaching is not merely surprising, it is supernatural. My dear child, my beloved, you may begin to observe unusual alignments today. Numbers that repeat, a bird that lands near your window, a melody you have not heard in years, suddenly playing when you enter a store. These are not coincidences, they are signals. The spiritual realm is speaking more audibly now, because this blessing is approaching your physical world. When spirit and earth begin to synchronize, you will always perceive unusual signs before something sacred arrives. Do not ignore them. Do not rationalize them away. Smile when you see them. Whisper a thank you. These small moments are heaven's way of conveying, we are almost there. And if you are wise, you will prepare not just your heart, but your physical space. Create an atmosphere of welcome. Speak aloud your readiness. Light a candle if you feel prompted. Record your expectations as if they have already materialized. All of these actions communicate to the spiritual world that you are not merely curious, you are committed. And beloved, that changes everything. Miracles respond to preparation. And the one approaching your door is carrying the most crucial gift of this season. My dear child, my beloved, let me share what I observed when I stood beside you last night. You were half asleep, but your spirit was fully awake. You may not recollect it, but your soul was praying, not with words, but with a deep yearning, a silent plea that articulated, please let this be the season everything changes. And God heard it. Heaven registered your yearning like a trumpet blast. You did not even need to utter it aloud. That is how deeply loved you are. And it is that cry that triggered what is transpiring right now. The individual who is coming does not even know you offered that prayer, but they are the answer to it. The surprise they bring is not random. It is custom designed, tailored to your exact heartache, crafted with precision. There is something inscribed in their hands that speaks directly to the part of you that has been patiently waiting in silence. When they speak, something ancient within you will recognize the vibration. A knowing will awaken, and in that moment, everything inside you will whisper, this was it. Do not doubt it when it arrives. Do not delay your yes. You have waited too long to hesitate now. My dear child, my beloved, I must address the part of you that feels unworthy. The part of you that questions if you have missed too many opportunities, if you have made too many errors, if perhaps this is all too good to be true. Beloved, hear me, nothing God sends you is based on your perfection. It is based on your purpose, and your purpose has not expired. Heaven never rescinded the calling on your life. You are still chosen. You are still seen, and this message is your confirmation. Cease rehearsing your failures. They are already forgiven. The only action you must take now is to receive, not explain, not earn. Just receive. The individual who is coming is not seeking to judge you. They are carrying peace, not punishment, joy, not shame. A fresh beginning, not a reminder of your past. And if you receive them with an open spirit, you will feel something detach from your life, like a heavy chain that suddenly falls away. That is the power of divine arrival. It liberates you from things you did not even realize were holding you captive. My dear child, my beloved, there is one final thing I must convey at this moment. The adversary is enraged that you have progressed this far. He knows you are about to step into a moment that will forever break his dominion over your future. That is why you have been experiencing strange resistance lately, random discouragement, emotional fatigue, perplexing dreams, moments where it feels like you are regressing into fear. But let me remind you, resistance is a signal of proximity. You do not contend that fiercely for something that is not close. And this is close, very close. That person's footsteps are already resonating in the spirit. I can perceive the vibration. I can discern the light surrounding their aura. They are coming, and what they carry is sacred. So I repeat, do not miss the knock. Do not allow your mind to dissuade your heart from believing. Do not allow the clamor of this world to drown out the sound of God moving. If you can remain still, if you can remain sensitive, you will not only open the door in time, you will witness what heaven looks like when it dispatches a human vessel to deliver a breakthrough disguised as a stranger. My dear child, my beloved, I understand your heart has been wounded by too many empty promises. I know individuals have said they were coming and never appeared. I know there were instances where you opened the door only to find disappointment instead of deliverance. But this is not like before. This is not one of those times. Heaven does not trifle with your heart. God does not tease. When He says someone is coming, they will arrive. And when He says there is a surprise, it will transform everything. You must not compare this moment to your past disappointments. If you do, you will miss the sacred distinction. You have never stood in a moment quite like this before. You have never had so many angels encircling your dwelling with silent protection. You have never had the veil this translucent. I can perceive through it now, and I see the light of what is on the other side. The individual has been shown your countenance in visions. Their spirit has been moved by your name. They may not fully comprehend it, but they are compelled to come. And when they do, beloved, your season of waiting will shatter in a single second. My dear child, my beloved, let me transport you back for a moment to the times you tried to erase your pain. Those quiet nights. Those moments in the bathroom where you locked the door and wept silently so no one would hear. Do you remember? Heaven does. I was there, watching over you when you uttered, God, if you are truly listening, please do something. That prayer was not disregarded. It was preserved. And now, finally, it is being answered, not with mere comfort, but with manifestation. Not with just words, but with a real person arriving at your door. Beloved, what you are about to experience will redeem every year you felt overlooked, every moment you felt invisible. This is heaven's way of showing you you were never forgotten. The one coming to you has been equipped with precisely what your soul has been needing. They are not flawless, but they are prepared. And so are you. You will recognize them not just by what they say, but by what you feel when they enter the room. The peace, the warmth, the shift in the air. That is the confirmation. Do not question it. Trust it. My dear child, my beloved, there is a divine reason this message found you today and not yesterday. The timing is not arbitrary. Heaven knows precisely when to whisper, and today your spirit is open in a way it was not even a week ago. There are moments when the spirit becomes malleable enough to receive what it used to resist. And you, beloved, are in that moment now. That is why this message did not just appear, it was placed, chosen, aligned. Because God knows what lies just ahead of you. And He knows if you do not pause now and open your spiritual eyes, you may miss the knock when it comes. The world will attempt to distract you, to numb you, to draw you into timelines that make you forget your own. But I am here, sent by the throne of God, to safeguard your timeline, to help you see clearly again. You were not meant to live in confusion. You were meant to live in clarity, and this message is your guide. Let it lead you back to faith. Let it reorient your attention. Someone is coming, and it is closer than you imagine. My dear child, my beloved, I want to reveal something very few understand. When a miracle is imminent, heaven grows quiet. That is why the past few days have felt spiritually silent. That is why your prayers felt like they were drifting into the air with no response. It is not because you were being ignored. It is because something was being finalized. Heaven performs its most profound work in silence. And now that the preparation is complete, the instruction has been released. The individual is moving now. The surprise is already in their hands. You are no longer waiting on God. God is waiting on you to remain vigilant, to remain receptive. This is not the time to wander. This is not the moment to turn away. You are seconds away from a transformation that will take your breath away. And I will declare this with sacred boldness. If you bypass this message, if you turn away now, it will not return in the same form. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, a singular person, a uniquely aligned door. Open it. Do not fear it. What you discover on the other side will make the pain of your past seem like mere preparation and nothing more. My dear child, my beloved, the individual who is making their way to your dwelling carries more than a gift. They carry revelation. They carry truth. They carry something you did not even realize you were missing until now. And their arrival will expose the falsehoods you have been believing about yourself. They will unknowingly utter things that will uproot lies. You will recognize in their presence that you were never too late, never too broken, never too far behind. Because when heaven dispatches someone, they speak a language your soul recalls, even if your mind does not yet grasp it. Allow their arrival to rewrite the narrative. Let their knock be the signal that God is still composing your story, and it is far from over. This is not the conclusion of your breakthrough journey. It is the genesis of a new dimension. And beloved, I cannot overstate this. Stay awake. If the knock comes while you are distracted, you may never even perceive it. But if you are alert, if your spirit is expectant, you will open the door and recognize this was divine. My dear child, my beloved, something sacred is unfolding in the realm around you that your physical eyes cannot yet perceive, but your spirit has already begun to sense it. You may notice the air feels different today, a stillness that you cannot explain, a moment where time slows and for no apparent reason, you pause and glance at your door. That is not random. That is revelation stirring. That is your soul reacting to the spiritual knock that is already echoing toward you. Heaven does not require permission to act, but heaven does necessitate your attention to deliver. And this moment demands your heart, your readiness, your bold yes. The individual approaching you is not arriving with ordinary energy. They are carrying an essence from the throne of God. They may not even realize it, but they have been entrusted with something divine, something heaven has been keeping safe until the appointed hour. And my beloved, this is the hour, not next week, not after you resolve everything in your life. Right now, in your current condition, with your unanswered questions and your quiet ache, heaven decided it is time for a shift. And so the chosen one is coming. My dear child, my beloved, I want to speak now to the silent part of you. The part you do not even speak to yourself. The part of you that secretly doubts whether it is truly you God is attempting to bless. The part of you that observes miracles happening for others, but feels invisible when it comes to divine appointments. I want to expose that falsehood. The lie that claims you are too ordinary, too late, too flawed to be chosen. Because if you were not chosen, this message would have never found you. The eyes reading these words, the soul drawn to this screen right now, it is not coincidence. It is confirmation. And I, Archangel Michael, am sent to ensure you no longer disqualify yourself from what God has already approved. The blessing is not delayed because of your worth. The delay was preparation, not punishment. And now all that has been withheld is being released. Yes for you. Yes now. Yes through the hands of someone who is about to surprise you in a way no one ever has before. God will not allow you to miss this unless you turn away from your readiness. So do not let fear answer the door. Let faith open it instead. My dear child, my beloved, I must remind you that this surprise may not arrive in decorative wrapping paper or a flawless presentation. It may come through an individual with wary eyes, but perfectly sacred timing. It may arrive with trembling hands, but divine urgency. Heaven does not always package miracles in gold. Sometimes it comes in simplicity. But when it enters, everything transforms, and this surprise possesses the power to unlock doors you did not even realize were shut. It may be an unexpected message, a financial breakthrough, a healing conversation, a confession that alters your future, or an opportunity that answers every hidden question in your heart. Do not dismiss what appears insignificant. The kingdom of God often moves through the humble, the unseen, the quiet arrival that carries thunder in its aftermath. And beloved, what is coming will leave spiritual thunder in its wake. The kind that silences every voice that declared you were not ready. The kind that closes the mouths of every demon that attempted to postpone your promise. The kind that makes even your adversaries take notice and whisper, "Surely God has favored them." Maintain your position. Remain with this message. The delivery is already in progress. This profound prophetic word is not just for you, it's meant to cascade. Sharing this message will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with your network, inviting others into this season of divine favor. My dear child, my beloved, I have to caution you with love. Distractions will emerge in the final hour. The adversary knows he has been defeated, so his last attempt is confusion. He will send interruptions, sudden disagreements, emotional triggers, unexpected fatigue, all to divert your focus from the knock that is about to occur. Do not fall for it. If something suddenly tries to irritate you today, do not engage. If someone provokes you with old energy, disengage. Your peace must be guarded like a fortress. Your focus must remain as sharp as a sword. The surprise is too sacred to be delivered in chaos. Heaven awaits alignment, and you, beloved, are precisely on the verge of receiving. But only if you maintain an atmosphere of faith. Consider this moment as sacred labor. You are about to give birth to a miracle, and no mother gives birth surrounded by turmoil. So quiet the noise. Prepare your space. Speak to God aloud. Even if your voice trembles, declare, "I am ready, I am open, I believe." And that declaration will shake the spiritual realm and accelerate what has been moving toward you for days, even years. My dear child, my beloved, before I conclude this segment of the message, let me whisper what I foresee. The person's hand will rise to knock. The door, whether literal or symbolic, will open. And when it does, your heart will skip a beat. You will feel the spiritual alignment in your chest like an echo of something ancient being fulfilled. There will be no confusion. There will be clarity, and you will weep, not from sorrow, but from overwhelming grace. You will whisper, "I never imagined it would arrive like this." And heaven will smile, because that is how divine fulfillment always feels, better than envisioned, deeper than prayed for, and entirely worth the wait. This is not fiction. This is not fantasy. This is the unfolding of prophecy, and you are at its core. What happens next will shake your reality. What arrives next will heal more than your circumstances. It will heal your very identity. You will remember who you are, whose you are, and why you were always chosen. Now breathe deeply. The moment is imminent. Remain prepared. Do not skip the ending, because the individual is closer than they have ever been. My dear child, my beloved, I know you have been weary. Not merely physically, but soul tired. The kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot alleviate. The kind of weariness that accumulates when your spirit continuously waits for change and nothing seems to budge. But what you did not realize is that in the waiting, heaven was diligently working. What you perceived as silence was, in fact, strategy. You were not being overlooked. You were being insulated, concealed, protected, prepared. And now I must reveal the truth. Everything is about to shift. The individual you have been awaiting, whether they carry love, solutions, healing, resources, or restoration, is already in motion. And when they arrive, it will not feel rushed. It will feel right. Your soul will find repose. Your tears will flow freely. Your past will begin to release its hold. And for the first time in a long while, you will believe again. Believe in divine timing. Believe in your purpose. Believe in yourself. That is what this sacred encounter will achieve. It will reframe your entire perception of your life, but only if you remain here, in this hallowed space of readiness. I was sent to keep you still, to hold you in place long enough for the knock to reach your ears. My dear child, my beloved, the knock will arrive when you least expect it. It will not announce itself with thunder or trumpets. It will come softly. That is how most miracles manifest, not through chaos, but through calm. And if you are not spiritually vigilant, you will miss it. That is why this message has reached you first. This is your trumpet. This is your warning not to fear, but to focus. The knock may not even be a literal sound. It may be a message, a phone call, a sudden email, an individual passing by who says something that dislodges something profound within you. Observe closely. Listen intently. The divine is subtle, but unmistakable when you are attuned. And beloved, this is your moment to attune yourself. I cannot force the blessing upon you. I can only clear the path and ensure you are aware enough to recognize it when it comes. You have journeyed too far to lose what was intended for you. You have prayed too long to miss what was specifically designed for your hands. So I implore you, do not turn away now. Do not scroll past the final step. The delivery is too close to relinquish. My dear child, my beloved, heaven is preparing to demonstrate to you that you were never forgotten. The pain you endured was not in vain. The individuals who abandoned you, that was protection, not punishment. The delay, it was divine. And now the reward is in motion. You have cried, "God, just send a sign." And heaven has responded with more than a sign. God is sending a person, a living, breathing vessel that carries the next door within their presence. You do not have to pursue it. You do not have to plead for it. It is finding you right where you are. And beloved, that is the kind of favor that only arises when heaven is involved. This individual does not even comprehend the full magnitude of what they carry, but they have been sent with your answer. And the moment your spirit connects with theirs, it will be as if something ancient recognizes something eternal. You will not need to justify yourself. They will simply know. And that knowing will heal you faster than 1,000 words ever could. But you must be present. You must be expectant. Heaven can only release what you are prepared to hold. And you, beloved, are finally ready. My dear child, my beloved, the intensity of this message stems from the profound importance of this moment. This is not like other messages you have encountered. This is a divine alignment unfolding before your very eyes. Every delay, every heartbreak, every sudden redirection you have recently experienced has all been part of guiding you to this threshold. And I can sense it now. The spiritual winds are stirring. The scrolls in heaven are being unsealed. Your name has been spoken again in chambers you cannot perceive, and the decision has been made. It is time. That is why I am here. That is why you are reading these words. Not merely because you are curious, but because your spirit recognizes the sound of destiny calling. And beloved, I need you to respond, maybe. Do not say someday. Say yes. Say no. Your faith is the gate. Your belief is the lock being disengaged. And once the gate opens, what steps into your life will be so miraculous, even you will fall to your knees and whisper, "Only God could have accomplished this." My dear child, my beloved, you are not delusional for feeling like something monumental is about to happen. You are not imagining the energetic shift around you. That burden you carried for months, it has been lifting because the atmosphere around you is being prepared for arrival. Angels have already been dispatched ahead to pave the way. They have been purifying the air, silencing the voices of doubt, implanting divine ideas into the heart of the one who is coming. Do not underestimate the level of detail heaven invests when it desires to reach one of its chosen. And you, beloved, are one of them. This individual who is arriving may alter your future, yes, but even more significantly, they will confirm your intrinsic worth. They will unknowingly reiterate words you once tearfully whispered to God in secret. And in that moment, your soul will know beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is from above. So hold on, stay close. Do not skip what comes next. Your miracle has feet, and it is walking directly to your door. My dear child, my beloved, I must convey something vital to you. Something I was not permitted to disclose until now. The individual who is coming to your door was not sent by chance. They were chosen long ago for this very assignment. Long before they knew your name, long before they ever envisioned being part of your story, they have been unknowingly prepared for this moment, shaped by their own trials, trained by their own heart itches, and called by something they could not quite articulate. They may have even tried to deviate from this path, but heaven redirected them repeatedly until they affirmed their yes. And that yes was for you. You may not yet realize it, but you have been the destination all along. Not because you required salvation, not because you were weak, but because heaven knew that when the two of you meet, something powerful will awaken. A shift that not only blesses you, but blesses everyone connected to you. Your home will feel different. Your heart will finally exhale. And the loneliness that attempted to take root in your soul will be replaced by a peace that defies understanding. This is not merely an encounter. It is a divine appointment. My dear child, my beloved, let me transport you back to one moment you tried to forget. That day you almost surrendered. That night you gazed at the ceiling and whispered, "Is this truly my life?" The pain felt perpetual. The silence felt like a penalty, and everything within you yearned to withdraw from people, from dreams, even from yourself. But something kept you here. A gentle whisper, a flicker of hope. That was me. I have been with you through every unseen battle, and today I have the privilege of uttering the words you have waited years to hear. You made it. Yes, beloved. You navigated through the test you did not even realize was a test. You conquered the silence. You endured the pruning. And now you will receive the reward. But hear me, the reward is not merely comfort or ease. It is clarity. It is confirmation. It is witnessing with your own eyes that God did not forget you. That the promise was not just poetic. It was a real moment, a real person, a real transformation. And now it is arriving, and it bears your name. My dear child, my beloved, I must ask you something. Are you willing to believe again, even after everything you have experienced? Are you willing to soften your heart one more time? I know how profoundly you have been wounded. I know how many times you believed and were disappointed, but this is not the same. What is coming now is not built on manipulation or empty assurances. It is built on divine purpose, and if you harden your heart now, you may miss the very thing you prayed for. Do not let old wounds rob you of new blessings. Do not let yesterday's pain obstruct today's miracle. The individual coming to you may not articulate everything flawlessly. They may not even know what to say at all, but observe their spirit. Observe how your soul reacts in their presence. You will know. You will feel it. A wave of tranquility, a sense of recognition, a deep breath you did not realize you were holding, finally being released. That is not emotion, that is confirmation, and when that moment arrives, do not flee, remain. Allow it to unfold. Let heaven demonstrate that healing can manifest in human form. My dear child, my beloved, sometimes God conceals the greatest blessings behind the most serene moments. And what is coming to your dwelling will not announce itself with fanfare. It will arrive like a whisper, but carry the weight of 1,000 answered prayers. Be still. Be sensitive. Do not dismiss the urge to glance out the window. Do not disregard the sudden prompt to open your messages. Heaven is subtle, but it is also precise. The timing has already commenced. The individual has already taken the first steps toward you. And now all of heaven is observing you. Will you receive them? Will you be spiritually present when the surprise is handed to you? Or will you be distracted, scrolling, doubting, too closed off to notice the door opening? Beloved, you cannot afford to miss this. Because what is arriving is not only a gift, it is a restoration of everything you believed was lost. And when it lands in your hands, you will comprehend why you had to wait so long. You will comprehend why it had to be this person at this time. In this precise manner, my dear child, my beloved, I want you to perform an action before we proceed. Inhale deeply. Close your eyes and speak these words aloud, even if your voice trembles. I am ready. Repeat it. I am ready. Those 3 words are not just statements. They are a key. They unlock what has been held for you behind the veil. They signal to heaven that your heart is no longer concealing itself. And once you declare your readiness, everything around you begins to shift. You may experience a chill, a warmth, a surge of emotion. That is your spirit ascending. That is the atmosphere adjusting, because belief alters energy. Expectation attracts miracles. And you, my beloved, are finally in alignment. The door is near. The moment is close. The individual is coming. Maintain vigilance. Remain open. You are not imagining this. You are standing within it. The surprise that will transform everything has already been released. And this message is your ultimate instruction. Stay present. Stay open. And when it comes, say yes. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high, vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings. They will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.